Hey everybody, welcome to a Tuesday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show where we talk with comedians about sports. You know, we got a lot to jump into today, man, and kind of looking forward to this show today. And I'm pretty sure today we're going to have a hot topics about the Cowboys and the Eagles game today and everything else. So let's get ready to get the show started. First up is my man known as Talent. How you doing, bro? How's everything?
Fantastic, my brother. How you doing? That's the better question.
I'm doing okay, but I want to make sure you're doing all right because I don't see no branding on you. You know what I mean?
You see that logo? You see that? That's Wolf Nation right there. That's my sponsor logo right there. Always a logo, bro. Always.
I figured that. I knew there was something. I got a logo too, but I don't own this one. Let me also bring in my man Fig. What's going on, Fig? How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, ain't no sex in the champagne room. I don't care what they tell you.
All right, okay. And also let me bring in my man known as Mike Sean all the way down in Dallas. Can't wait to talk to him because he's in the home of the Cowboys.
Oh, man. What's good?
All right. So we got to get ready to get the show underway. And before we jump into the NFL and a couple other things that's popping off and everything else, I got to talk to you guys about, of course, this COVID situation because we talk about it every day. We have a COVID report we talk about every day. This morning, the NBA released a report. Well, actually, there was a report that was released, and the NBA is going to have to deal with this about talking about women, not necessarily just some of the women staffers, but there's a lot of NBA staffers right now who are concerned with the amount of NBA players who have reported to be unvaccinated. And like I said about that yesterday, it looked like, man, there's going to be a huge concern about that because, again, you can't play in certain cities unless you get vaccinated talent. So it's going to be a big problem, man. And that, let's not even forget there are a lot of NBA players like Andrew Wiggins who was saying that, you know, they're using this as a religious thing too, saying, hey, I can't do this because, my religious beliefs. Talent, what's your take on this, bro?
I feel the same as I did yesterday, Frank. A process of elimination. Like, put it this way. If I say, okay, I'm not going to say you can't play because you're not vaccinated, but what I am going to do is go team by team, city by city, and these arenas are going to have their policies of who can come inside the arena. So if I take all the arenas, 80-90% of them, and you need the vaccine to play in that arena, you have no games you can play. And I did that inadvertently. I didn't even smack it on you and mandate it straight up. I don't have to. Process of elimination. Look for more of this to come, bro. Guaranteed.
So I'm trying to tell you. Fig, what's your take?
Man, something I found out this morning that shocked me, man. And Frank, I don't know if anybody said this, but do you know that if you live in a certain state, you can't play for your team if you're unvaccinated? But if you're a visitor from another team and you're not vaccinated, then you can play in that stadium? I'm like, wait. What? This stuff don't make no sense to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't play in my home stadium because I'm not vaccinated, but another player from another team could come to my state and play in my stadium if they're not vaccinated. Huh? Yo, this is mixed messages, man. You know where I stand with this thing, man. Look, it is what it is, but something's wrong with that.
All right, we're going to talk about that one. Mike, what's your take on this, man?
Man, I'm so tired of the propaganda with COVID when they start talking about staff members are worried about NBA players not being vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, and I don't give a damn if somebody is vaccinated or non-vaccinated around me. The propaganda is they want everybody vaccinated. They're going to do whatever it takes to get everybody pushed into it. When Joe Biden makes a statement to New Orleans that preparing for the hurricane, you should be vaccinated first, that's when I went like, you got to be kidding me right now. But go ahead. I mean, they're trying to force everybody to vaccination. That's what they're trying to do. And Talent was right, but it's not inadvertently. It's on purpose. They did this on purpose to force everybody to take these vaccinations, and it makes me more worried that I took it.
The funny thing is if we had more time, I would love to talk about the propaganda behind this too, because some certain things that, just not adding up to me. But we'll talk about that maybe one day. Maybe we might do a special, a COVID report, show or something. Maybe one day if I feel like it, and you guys, I can get you guys to get up on the time. But let's talk about something else, man. I'm not sure if you saw this report, Talent. So I'm gonna start with you, man. There's a report that came out this morning. The USA Today has revealed that there have been some abuse allegations about then team basketball head coach Cam Newbar. He has been known to have been formally abusing some of this female basketball players, throwing basketballs at them, throwing chairs at them, cussing them out and everything else. Now, this stuff came out, obviously, today. They did a report on this and everything else, and now they're trying to find out whether or not they could do even things more than him. Nothing about criminal charges yet, but seems a lot of players and stuff seem that he's crossing the line. And female players want somebody to do something because, again, just like USA Today has revealed that the abuse allegations just don't stop at that school. There was another school, like such as LSU, where the football team members were abusing women basketball players. You know what I mean? Like football, it seems like women players in all aspects of court. They put out this report saying that there's a lot of colleges where women are being abused, and it's like, what's going on here? And nobody's stepping up to the plate to do anything. So, what you taking this out?
I think it's crazy. 2021, if this is still going on, man, it's almost like having shackles, bro. It's like it's so played out. Like we're such in a state, especially for our women, for our queens out there, we're in a whole different state, time, and era. So if we still got this going on anywhere, where the guys are, infringing on the rights and the personal spaces of women and abusing them and stuff like that, that's crazy for 2021. I think that, yeah, even if you can't get any criminal, repercussions in there, you hit that pocket, you tamper people, you hamper people from having, further accolades and stuff that they can do monetarily and otherwise. You know what I mean? I'm all for that because this is ludicrous, man. It's 2021. We got to stop that.
Yeah, bro. Hitting them in their pocket is exactly what we got to do. Dave, Business Bully, has also joined the show, man. How you doing, Dave? How's everything, bro?
Absolutely awesome. How's everybody?
Everybody's doing great. I think everybody should be doing okay. So, Fig, what's your take on this, bro? Talk to me. Tell me what you think.
I think that clearly this coach went to the Bobby Knight School of Coaching because Bobby Knight is the only coach I know that was able to get away with that nonsense. Back in the day, man, that's the way coaches were, man. Coaches not physically beat you up, but they beat you up, man. They called you names, cussed you out, tossed stuff, man. It was, I don't know, it was called tough love, I think, at one point, tough coaching. But if it's going over to the side of where it's abusive, then something has to be done. I mean, if he hasn't physically assaulted anyone, then I don't think there's any charges to be pressed. But at the very least, the coach should be fired and relieved of his duties. I don't know what you could do beyond that if he hasn't physically accosted anybody.
Yeah. What Fig said is right, Mike. You should fire him because, like they did, they fired this coach, man. This is 2021. What's your take on this, bro?
I think they should press charges against him and try their best against charges. The unfortunate thing is women in college is a scary thing. If we remember Baylor University with their sex scandals when between 2012 and 2016, we're talking about hundreds of rape cases that the football coach and administration helped hide.
Yep.
And so they wouldn't be charged. It's a dangerous place to be a woman and be in college. And not only that, there's a sexual problem that goes on. Google Michael Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, right? Google what he did at Penn State to one of his guy teammates. He damn near sexually assaulted this guy teammate. There's a weird code. Just Google it. Google it, where the young man literally almost brought a gun to the locker room and he transferred out the college and they pushed this under the rug. And Michael Parsons is a great football player right now. But Google it yourself and see the weirdos the weird situations that go on in college. It's scary, y'all. It's very scary.
I'm going to have to Google that because that's one story I did not hear. Since the Business Bully has joined the show, bro, what's your take on what we're talking about? What's your take on this discussion?
Here's my thing. We're talking about Neubauer, right? First of all, when it comes to women, we have to be respectful, right? We don't have to always coddle and tell them that they're doing a great job when they are not. That's as a professional coach and as a corporate coach and consultant, I will tell you there are times where I have to tell women, like, look, you're stinking up the joint. One thing women will never say about Dave Anderson, I never threw my balls at anybody. And the fact that this guy was throwing balls at these women in 2021 is absolutely disgusting. Did you not just see what happened to I'm sorry, basketball. I didn't read the whole thing, Frank. I apologize. It was basketballs he was throwing at them. And that's even worse. Like, you could get concussed. I feel like this man should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And what bothers me is that Frank actually has to ask the question, what should happen to him? Because let me tell you, I went to Temple University. I came up, with John Chaney, and John Chaney didn't play that. If one of his players had any type of report, John Chaney would storm the floor, gather all them players, go in the RA's room, and be like, listen, if you got a problem with any one of my boys, you let me know. And he was choking up kids 6'7", 7'1", like without no problem. John Chaney was old then. That is different. That is teaching respect and discipline versus throwing basketballs at women in 2021. No, I know he resigned thinking that was going to be the end of it. They need to throw the book at this man. White privilege should not protect him.
Oh man, there's so much I could uncover with what he just said, but we only got so much time, man. So let me move on to the next thing we talked about yesterday, man. And to nobody's surprise, I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Before we talk about the Cowboys-Eagles game, to nobody's surprise, Richard Sherman is visiting the Bucs today. We all said that Richard Sherman was gonna get a phone call from Tampa Bay today. He got chewed up on we all said it against LA. I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody would be surprised if we find out by 5 o'clock he signs, because like I said yesterday, his value went up yesterday. His value went up way up. Talk to me, man. Richard Sherman is visiting Tampa Bay right now as we speak, and probably be fine by the time we go.
Sign him. You know what I mean? It's a no-brainer. I agree with you. The weight and the price, everything. What Fat Joe say? Yesterday's price is not today's price. And that's it. That's it right now. You know what I mean? Richard Sherman is sitting in he's in a Fat Joe skit right now. It's a no-brainer. They need him. Go get him. He's sitting there waiting around. He probably, they probably called him. He was in like a Target, Walmart, picking up a few things. He got the call. Said, all right, give me a minute, get this lumber out of Home Depot, and I'll check the flights. So this is a no-brainer to me, Frank. Sign him. Get him.
Yeah, that's what I said. Fig. Richard Sherman was probably on his couch Sunday praying for one of these big name teams to lose and get chewed up in their secondary so he could get that call Monday. Right, had to be.
You know what, man? That's dope, man, because I think, look, clearly Richard Sherman has lost a little bit athletically, but he still is a veteran, and veteran presence in the locker room can be impactful to younger players. And the fact that he's on the field might give them confidence. He knows enough and knows how to play the angles, even though he may not have the same speed. So I would think a team like them would give him a call. I thought maybe even Kansas City, because their defense is horrid, man. It's not the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Lord knows we know that. But on the defensive side of the ball, they could use a little help. They could use some help.
Yeah, and Mike, some people could even say that he wouldn't even be unemployed right now if he didn't have those issues at home. You know what I mean? He wouldn't even have to be going through this right now. What's your take?
Yeah, that's probably consistent. I mean, I would take a shot at Richard Sherman. I mean, he's 33. I mean, if you think that he's going to be the piece that's going to put you over the top for the Super Bowl, you're sadly mistaken. But he can perhaps help. I mean, Josh Norman was getting burnt before he got hurt in the last game, but he's a name, and he has veteran savvy. But if you're counting on him to solidify your defense, it's not going to happen, y'all. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. The business bully, some people are saying they should move Richard Sherman to safety and have some of these corners stay into the corners, because it might also help their defense, because Richard Sherman's slowing down. Usually when corners slow down, they move him to safety. Usually helps him out. What's your take?
I think Richard Sherman has more in the tank than people are giving him credit for. That's one. Number two, I don't expect him to do what he did, in years past. I will say this when it comes to Richard Sherman, the man is a tackling machine. And if you need to, knock somebody's back out, you need a big dick to do it. So Big Dick Sherman's the guy for the job. And I think what's wrong with you? That's his nickname.
Big Dick Sherman.
That's his name. It's big. So anyway, what I'm saying to you, Frank, is these people are so immature. What I'm saying to you is that when you have an elder statesman who's doing the job, everybody else has to step up. I think his presence will allow everybody else to step up, with the defense. And I think you're going to see a whole lot of offensive backs being blown out as a result of Richard Sherman's presence there in the secondary.
All I like to say is you walk that fine line of me getting ready to have to edit, bro. You walk that fine line.
Sherman.
Hold on. How does that not have to be edited? I'm curious.
Because his name is Richard, and Caucasian people call Richard Dick.
After. All right, let's keep this thing moving on.
This looks wrong to me.
We got to talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys, man. And some of us don't want to talk about that game. We got to talk about that game. And honestly, if I had to pick this game, I would have picked the Dallas Cowboys because they were playing in Dallas. But I was surprised with how bad Jalen Hurts got, how bad the Eagles got stomped. I'm not going to lie. So let me ask you, Taylor, what was your first take on the Eagles versus the Cowboys thing? Because my first take is, man, I think the Dallas Cowboys have arrived. You know what I mean? I think they're a playoff team. I think their defense has definitely come to play. I think they're balling right now. I'm surprised at what I'm seeing on the field. Granted, it's one game, but I'm surprised at what I've seen so far. I've watched the Cowboys play 3 times now. What's your take, John?
I mean, you could be surprised for Dallas, but you can't be surprised how the Eagles was what we all expected to see. The Eagles was R. Kelly.
Wow.
We knew the verdict was going to be that. We knew, actually, it made them look good in the end when they let them get that last touchdown to make it 21. But actually, the blowout was done, and you had 14-40. Pretty much that was the real score.
Oh, new dog.
You know what I mean? So I think that Philly gave me exactly what I expected. I'm still surprised and eyebrows up high for Dallas that, Dak is doing his thing.
All right, Fig, do you think Philadelphia Eagles people are still happy right now with Jalen Hurts, or do you think some people are sitting there saying Carson Wentz? What's your take on this now?
The thing is about Jalen Hurts is that although he's not a rookie, he's still a very young player. And we have yet to see what he can be. The problem with an NFL quarterback is, I don't care what team you are, I don't care who your coach is, if you don't have an offensive line, you're not going to look good. And I always have to revert back to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. 2 of his offensive linemen were injured, and he didn't look that good. And we know for a fact that this kid has exceptional talent. So if you don't have a line and you don't have a coach that's going to do some things to offset that and put you in positions where you could utilize your skills, he's going to look horrible. And plus, Dallas is I believe, it's an all-around better team. I can't imagine anybody that doesn't think that Dallas is a better team after what we see when they played the first game against Tampa Bay.
Mike, you're in Dallas. Talk to me. Tell me what the take is in Dallas right now. Tell me what the take is in Dallas right now. I know they got to be on talk about Super Bowl already.
I tried to tell y'all when the season started. This team is stacked. Their defense doesn't even have 2 of their starting defensive linemen. Randy Gregory's out on suspension. DeMarcus Lawrence is still hurt. They got that dude, Michael Parsons, running around going crazy. We are in trouble, people. The Philadelphia Eagles played head up with the San Francisco 49ers a week before. They played San Francisco tough. San Francisco plays Green Bay tough. Dallas almost beat Tampa Bay. Dallas beat the Chargers, who went on to beat Kansas City. I hate the Cowboys. It's going to be a long season, people. The Cowboys are winning 10, 11 games easy. They not even healthy. They don't even have all their starting wide receivers in. Now they got 2 running backs running the ball. Now their offensive line is gelling. Dak Prescott is elite. This is a dangerous year. The only hope that we have is that Mike McCarthy screws this all up. We have to hope that one of the dumbest head coaches ever can screw this up. And that's the only hope we have, because it's about to be a long season. They're about to flex the games. You're about to see the Dallas Cowboys play on every Sunday night game. The NFL is going to flex their games out. Any game they have at 1 o'clock, they're going to flex them out till Sunday night. Watch. We're going to see them all season long.
I don't know if they're going to flex the games out, but that was our report in Dallas. Let's now look at our report in Philly with my man Dave, the business bully. Dave, is the sky falling in Philly yet right now with the people with Jalen Hurts? Man, what's their take on that?
I was reviewing the terms of my contract with you here, Frank, and apparently I have to talk about this. Dallas, damn, this is about as bad as when I agree with Fig. Michael Sean was right. Dallas has a very, very deep bench. They played absolutely amazingly well. However, Philadelphia made a lot of what we call careless, stupid, bunghole level mistakes. As a result of that, we got our keisters handed to us. I think that the situation with our quarterback is exactly what is similar to what Fig had to say. And I think that it takes time. There's certain, you cannot, I don't give a damn how good you are. You can't compensate for experience. There's not a comedian on this show that looks at when they first started comedy. Like if you look at tape from Talent 30 years ago, he was funny. He ain't what he is now. I literally believe Talent can go up there with absolutely no material and do an hour and a half and not blink, because he's been doing it for 30 years. I think we need to just put the pair of hands on our quarterback for a minute and realize that, let's give time. But yeah, we lost, and I'm wearing black because I'm mourning right now because that was killer. It was disgusting. It was upsetting, Frank.
You know what the funny thing is I don't think any one of y'all are wrong in one sense, man, because the way Philly's looking right now and the way Dallas is looking right now, I think we all were saying this, early on. But more so Mike. Mike was the one who really called out Dallas more than anything. And Mike, I'll even take you more than that, man. I think Dallas is going to win more than 10, 11 games, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 13 games.
Hell no.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
First of all, Mike is always going to be righter than us because he has a numerology background.
Oh, okay.
What?
Wait, what?
Shit sounded good.
All right. Now, mind you, while here's the next thing is, while the game was going on, people on ESPN too saw something that they didn't think they were going to see. They saw Eli Manning broadcasting and talking about the Eagles fans, and he flipped the bird on them on live TV last night. So now ESPN is upset because Eli Manning on live TV basically flipped the bird to the Eagles fan, and then he sent out an apology on how he flipped the bird last night. Tell me what you think about that, bro.
I got 100 grams, 100 clips. I quarterback for New York.
Wow.
Yo, the verses is still going. I thought the verses was over. Eli Manning said, New York. Oh, man. Listen, man. You know what's going to happen. The apology is going to, steamroll out now. People always have that lapse of judgment, and then, after they get a little, especially today, it's so fast today with social media, they come back. Bill Burr had this joke about time to pull a podium out. They pull that podium out in front of you. Hi, I disgraced my family, my mom, my dad. So all that's coming. But in the meantime, I got 100 grams, 100 clips. We from New York.
New York.
Nick, what's your take, bro?
Eli Manning was on today. I don't know if you see the press conference. He basically pulled the Jay-Z. He said, "What do you want me to do? I'm sorry. I'm back. You have offended my family and shall into." So what, yo? So what, son? Ain't nobody care. New York, son.
Yo.
We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about the thing, yo, because when I was playing, we beat y'all down. Yo wasn't nobody, son.
Yo, that's some New York
Mike,
stuff.
what's your take on this, bro?
Yo, I just looked at it. Yo, if anybody deserves to give the Eagle fans the double bird is Eli Manning. The man was a perfect citizen as a football player. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, beat the Patriots twice. And damn it, if you want to give those filthy Eagle fans, them stinking Eagle fans, the double bird, give it to them, homie. You're financially free. And I guess who won't be getting fired by ESPN?
Yeah, that's him.
Guess who ESPN ain't gonna fire?
Hey.
They're not gonna fire Peyton Manning's brother, bitches. They're not gonna do it. Sorry, edit that. Sorry about that.
Nah, they're not touching him because they saw 138% increase jump in their viewership.
What?
Matter of fact, they probably got more last night when the ratings come out at 4:00 today. We'll talk about that. So, talking to producer Business Bully, man, what's your take on? I know you're a show producer, have been for a while. Everything else. Can you imagine how ESPN must have been scrambling behind the scenes when Eli Manning flipped the bird on live TV, bro? What's your take on that, Dave?
I mean, it's kind of like when the Secret Service cornered me behind something Ricky did. He got on air one day. Imagine Obama's running for office, and imagine that your talent says, all right, y'all, and I want somebody to kill Barbara Bush right now.
Wow.
So, like, imagine what we were doing and what corporate was saying and what it's like to have Secret Servicemen be like, are you David Steven Anderson? Whoa! So, yeah, I can understand that. But in hindsight, all they did was want to make sure it wasn't a real terroristic threat, and ratings thrived. And at the end of the day, like I said, I hate it. It's not something I'm proud of in my career, but they love to put celebrities in position because they know celebrities will drive ratings, especially celebrities who might be a little bit unhinged. And I think that Eli is Eli's middle name is Richard, so Big Dick Eli is out here flexing, and he put up the 2, and he said, "Raise the drawbridge." So, I think if you can get away with it, and it's going to make ratings, listen, the advertisers don't care how disgusting you are, as long as nobody's flipping out about it. They're going to continue to spend money, and it's all about money for the mouse.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta think of it, man. I don't even know, how far you can get away with flipping the bird and everything. I think you can get pretty far as long as you ain't saying a curse word. I don't know. I gotta check into that, man.
We really gonna be offended by this nonsense.
All the stuff for 20 years. All
the stuff that's on TV and that we watch every single day. We really gonna get offended by somebody making a symbol. The symbol that means F you, not even the words, the symbol.
Right. And you know what? Into a city that booed Santa Claus. How you gonna get mad?
First of all, that's a lie. We didn't just boo Santa Claus. We threw snowballs with rocks in them at Santa Claus.
Hold on, let me take it one step further. This is the city that their black mayor dropped actual bombs on a black neighborhood.
Yeah, he did. I forgot about that part. Yeah,
Mayor Wilson Good. Yes.
I remember that.
All right, so let's keep it on moving on. Speaking of the sky is falling talent in Pittsburgh, people right now are calling for Ben Roethlisberger to be replaced right now and get traded while they still can get him out of there and everything else. Talent talk to me.
Traded.
You think Pittsburgh should replace Ben Roethlisberger right now?
Hell to the yeah. I've been saying this for 2 seasons straight. It's been time to go. What's going to happen is he's going to be like an Eli Manning and overstayed a welcome. I think Eli left a couple of years too late as well. Get out of there where you got your glory, your head hanging high. Even though you're a rapist, your head is hanging high. People in Pittsburgh still respect it. And the longer you stay and the longer they see you in bad form and fashion, all that other stuff starts to regurgitate through the brain like, now they're gonna maliciously try to move you. Move yourself. You know what I mean? I thought he was gonna do that coming into this season. I was almost sure, and nope, went right back to the starting quarterback. You're at the end of your road, bro. Like he had 5 quarters in him. Everything else now downhill. Hell yeah,
ain't that the truth? Craig, what's your take on this?
This is pure racism, man. This is pure racism. You mean to tell me that Ben Roethlisberger can still play football? Colin Kaepernick is no good. Cam Newton is no good, but Ben Roethlisberger is still the starting quarterback of one of the most storybook franchises in the NFL. Do you want to get rid of Ben Roethlisberger? First off, you can't trade him because nobody else wants him. Let me tell you something. Rather than Ben Roethlisberger, I'll settle for a bacon burger.
All right. Mike, what's your take on this, bro?
Yo.
First of all, I know it's serious when talent gives his critique on a quarterback and doesn't crack one joke. Like, he's dead serious. Ben is a rap. It's not racism. The difference between Cam Newton and Ben and Kaepernick and Ben is that Ben won 2 Super Bowls. Let's not forget. Respect the rings. But he is a rap. He was a rap last year. I don't know why Tomlinson is sitting there and not. I guess they really have no choice. Like the Giants had no choice. When a Super Bowl, the only guy who's gangster enough, this is the difference. The only guy who's gangster enough to get rid of a quarterback who's won Super Bowls is Bill Belichick. Unfortunately, that turned out very poorly for him when he pushed Tom Brady out. But the majority of time, unless you're Tom Brady, the ultimate GOAT, I don't know what drug he's taking. Normally, this is how it turns out. Now, one other time it turned out poorly, too, when Joe Montana went to the Kansas City Chiefs and took them to the playoffs and they made a run. Ben is over. Now, Ben is one of them guys. Tom Brady took care of himself. Ben was the ultimate fat, sloppy, amazing quarterback. Ben has never taken care of himself and is taking a lot of hits in that pocket. It's over. Get him out of there. I don't know what to do. I don't know if you call Cam Newton. I don't know if you call Troy Aikman. Call anybody, but he's got to get out of there.
Yeah,
call the coroner.
You got to go. Dave, what's your take on this, bro? What do you think? Ben, being that you're an Eagles fan, I'm sure you're not a fan of the Steelers. What's your take on that out there?
See, the thing that I thought you liked about me, Frank, was my ability to be objective at all times. And when it comes to Ben Roethlisberger, I think that we need to look at the bigger picture here. First of all, he needs all the time he can get to prepare his defense, because now that R. Kelly is going away for a long time, justice is actually going to start swinging his way, because, I mean, let's face it, they didn't call him Big Ben because of, So what happens is if he gets out, I think that this is hold on one second. Excuse me. I was looking for Cam Newton. It's Dave Anderson calling on behalf of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, no, I don't officially work for the Steelers, but they're in need of a quarterback, because one they got is a slovenly, disgusting piece of absolute hot trash truck juice, and he's a rapist, and no one seems to bat an eye because he has 2 rings and we're supposed to respect it. Hello? They hung up. But I think Cam Newton would fit really good in Pittsburgh, and talent for the win.
and he eats a fat burger.
Talent on the road today. All right. Speaking of signing and unsigning and everything else, and other players and everything else, there's 2 more things we want to talk about in the NFL, because we've got to jump. One of them is, Josh Gordon literally signed with the Chiefs yesterday. Josh Gordon had 6.5, I want to say, infractions with the NFL for drug policy and everything else. He got the okay. He officially signed with the Chiefs yesterday, man. Talent, you think the Chiefs should have took a flyer on him? Because a lot of people are predicting he won't even finish out the season. What's your take?
I'm trying to figure out what the half is. 6.5?
I'm only saying half because half for the Patriots. He didn't really get a drug infraction, but he was out of there and nobody knows why. So that's the half.
Oh, okay. I thought he was sharing a thing of crack. Okay, so listen, here's the thing. I think this is a good thing here. The same way we were just applauding Tampa Bay snatching up a Richard Sherman, this is a good thing for them. I think what they've shown us with the league is they can stretch shit out as long as they want. So I think he will finish out the season, contrary to what you just said, and get that done before whatever's going to happen after that. You know what I mean? But I think they did the right thing for the team. You know what I mean? He could be beneficial to the team. The more weapons your boy got, man, the more help he got out there. We already know what's going to happen, bro. It reminds me of after 7 seasons of Jordan just being a scoring champion. Once you start putting them little role players in place, this is what this reminds me of. They're trying to go back to the chip.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to do that, bro. Problem is, is they signed an offensive player. We all know that's not their problem. Like they ain't need no more help on offense. But you talk to me, what you think? Like they need no more help.
Listen, Kansas City Chiefs offensive juggernauts. They can score with the best of them. The problem is that they can't stop a nosebleed. And getting Josh Gordon on he plays on the offensive side of the ball. So maybe their formula is we're just going to try and outscore you. And, we're going to put up 35, 40 some points, and we're going to see if you can match us. I guess that's what they're going to try and do because their defense is porous.
Yeah, Mike. Because they lost Sammy Watkins to Baltimore, they wanted to get another a wide receiver who would help them take off some of these double teams that are receiving to obviously a couple of their other players. What's your take on Josh Gordon signing with the Chiefs?
I just give Josh Gordon credit. He's the only person I know with more drug and alcohol violations than me. God damn, like I gotta applaud that man. My God, there's still hope. There's still hope. You might see me back on radio because of Josh Gordon. Listen.
I'll drink to that, Mike.
Listen, Andy Reid, God bless him. Like, I think Fig just hit on it. Andy Reid was like, our defense sucks. Let's get more offense. Like, I'm like, okay. I mean, whatever works for you. Josh Gordon, we'll see what happens. The man has always been ultra talented. Always had the ability to be a top flight wide receiver. We'll see what happens. I just think Patrick Mahomes has enough weapons. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that, your defense can't stop the run. And Josh Gordon can't do anything about stopping the run. But once again, Andy Reid has proven to know more about football than I will never know in 6 lifetimes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we definitely will. Hey, Dave. Honestly, like I said earlier, maybe they think since they lost Sammy Watkins that they think that they might have to replace another one of their wide receivers. Maybe that's what they're thinking. So they got Josh Gordon. What's your take on this,
Frank? Anybody who has lived will tell you if your D just starts folding under pressure, you're not going to last very long. It is a complete mistake. What's wrong with him? I can work in the locker room with teenagers. If your D cannot stand the pressure coming at you, it's going to fold. It's going to fall. It's just going to go limp, and that's what's happening here. So Josh Gordon signing with the Chiefs is not the problem. You could put as many points as you want on the board. Listen, the Washington Generals. Well, if you've ever been to a Harlem Globetrotters game, the Washington Generals can play.
Yo,
they're just childish. Not the Globetrotters.
You're childish. You're childish.
What are you talking about? What are you pausing me for, Talent?
Real talk.
You're pausing me. You coming through my airwaves.
I'm coming through your
airwaves. Too early to be talking about default.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the defense. Okay. Nobody ever says D. You ain't never seen nobody in the side go defense. There's literally somebody with a fence and somebody with a sign that says D. Now I'm saying D, and if it folds and goes limp because it's wide open, if the D.
It's my bad. I missed a few sandboxes.
30 years in comedy, you can't be a little bit mature, sir.
A little bit.
I'm gonna tell you right. You talking about D, and if Talon bring that zipper down on his jacket any further,
he's gonna expose something.
Looking like a malt liquor commercial. If you don't zip your.
It works every time.
All right, so let me bring up the next
Heineken.
All right, let me bring up the next subject. I touched on it a little bit yesterday. I said we were going to talk about it today, man. And Talent, the people in Miami, since we're talking about last subject about NFL, people in Miami were eyes wide open with the Raiders and the Miami Dolphins games because of what Jacoby Brissett did, how he balled out, everything else, man. Even though they lost the game, everybody was like, man, this dude was on the bench the whole time. Really? So my question to you, Talent, is do you think Tua is going to get his starting job back? Because let's face fact. Jacoby Brissett played better in one game than Tua has in a season and a half. I don't care what nobody says. Tell me what you think.
Well, first of all, that's that game I told you I lost $1,000 on. Second of all, 1 second. So starting to feel violated on this show.
Oh my God!
I feel hands on me, Frank. I feel hands.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's the game I lost on. I mean, I think that you stick with what works. If you put him in, he's been sitting on the bench and it works. You have to ride that high. I'm a firm believer, especially when it comes to football more than any other sport. When you click something that works, you have to ride that thing like, pause. Like this is Philly's problem with the whole Wentz, and Foles thing in the Super Bowl. It's like they came right out of it, like none of that happened, and try to go back to the old scheduled program to no avail. Right now, you got a new program. You did something, guy been sitting on the bench, you see it's working. You take that spark and you see where that spark takes you before you make any other decision. Keep it where it is at.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Fig, your take.
Yo, man, brisket is good, man. Brisket is one of my favorite sandwiches, man. Nah, man, he's brolic. Yo, this dude look like, when I was looking at Kobe Brissett, man, he looked like a lineman. You know what I mean? So when he needed to do a quarterback sneak and stuff like that, or he needed to push, the line for a few yards and stuff like that, he was really, he was dope, man. He was good. It looks like he was a better fit for what Miami is doing. And Tua, we know is that right now, after all these injuries, he's bordering, if not already there, on the injury prone list, and he's undersized as a football player. So I would go with the brisket, man. I mean, unless they have pastrami.
Okay, Mike, what's your take on this thing? Because at the end of the day,
if you don't put that raw chicken away,
Mike, what's your take?
What y'all talking about?
You zip up your shirt. We talk about whether or not Tua should get his starting job back.
This is bothering you right here. This is bothering you. Y'all need to grow up.
I just turned on my oven.
Oh my God! We hit the 350.
So the question is, man, should Tua get his job back? And here's a scary thought. Mike. If they make a trade, man, Deshaun Watson could be the starting QB, and
Frank,
Kobe could be coming off the bench.
Yo, Frank, you're the most overreactor in the history of the world. You're the same guy who said Justin Fields should be the starter. Brissett had it. He had a starting job. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He did, and he lost it.
Yeah.
Get the man, let him play more than one game before we make this guy like the new starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Like, let some tape circulate about him, and let's see. Now, if he gets the job, God bless him, because I think he's a pretty good quarterback. But I think we shouldn't overreact over one game or the sexiness of my goddamn chest. Like, I don't understand how y'all can't. Man, y'all haters. Y'all straight. Talent do it is all big up.
I'm not mad at you, Mike. I'm curious how you got your shoulder here. How'd you get the shoulder to the front? Other than that, it looks wonderful.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Dave, I don't agree with what Mike said. I agree with what Mike said for the simple fact being that his shoulder here. I don't agree with Mike for one thing. I've seen Jacoby play in New England. I saw him play for 2 years. Like Jacoby, that was not a fluke that we saw. You know what I mean? I also saw him play a lot in the Colts. You know what I mean? The Colts had a winning season with Jacoby played for the Colts. So
that's true.
Jacoby is balled out. So I'm saying,
there you go with the balls out again, man.
I'm saying right now, for the record, I think that's what Miami should do, and people in Miami are saying the same thing. And the scary thought is, Dave, if they make a trade, Jacoby would be there, and then Deshaun could be there too, man. That's what I'm seeing. So, what's your take on this, Dave? Talk to me.
I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, like it's working. You know, if you find out all of a sudden, that if you make one little adjustment and you can get more mileage out of your situation, you're going to do it. And I feel like Jacoby's performing. Tua's on injured reserve. Let's not act like it's not fair. This is football. You get hurt, sucks to be you. It happened, I think, the last season, the good times. Keith was supposed to get everybody out the ghetto, and then JJ backed up into him. And guess what? It didn't matter how much of a prospect it was. Didn't matter how much of a blue chipper he was. His ass was limping on the bench.
Wakanda forever.
We don't do that here. Yeah, just as long as it. Listen, first of all, also talent. Like again, 30 years, bro. Like you got some. Why in the world are you going to disrespect Michael Strawn when you didn't even offer him no seasoning, no cumin, no Lowry's to cover up that bird? Jesse, God, good God, it looked like Thanksgiving right before my mom put the turkey in. Jesus,
gotta get that white meat. Y'all know nothing about that white meat. Pause. Y'all don't know
Yeah,
nothing.
I called up with some stuffing and some giblets and gravy.
I'm
that
still stuck on-
giblets. You
I'm
eating
still
giblets,
stuck on-
Fig?
I'm still stuck on how you get your shoulder here part. Like that was that was hilarious. I'm telling you, if you hear me or see me on social media say that, please don't bust me out. I'm act like I just heard that joke. All right, man. In the NBA, man, you know we got to talk about the NBA. We got a couple of things we got to talk about. Zion Williamson, the day before yesterday, fractured his foot. Everything else, they're panicking right now because Zion has a fractured foot. Zion has been saying that he's still unhappy with what's going on. People are now saying in his camp that he's unhappy with the way the medical doctors. I don't know if he's playing it the way Kawhi did it, but people are saying he's unhappy with how the medical staff is handling his fractured foot. Here's the crazy thing about it. Everything else, I don't think he needs a reason to demand a trade, but this might be one of the reasons he might use to demand a trade and everything else. Talent. What's your take on this, bro?
First question is, was he wearing Nikes again?
Mm-hmm.
You get a 2-bus minimum on them joints, and that contract's null and void. Secondly, I'm tired of these athletes getting hurt and get mad at the medical staff. They just bring you information that they got. Yeah, hey man, it's fractured. Fuck out of here. Get away from me. How can I do wrong? You injured it. It's my job to come tell you what it is and how we can proceed with rehabbing and healing and all that stuff. This is just going on and on where people are just like taking it out on the medical staff. What are they doing exactly wrong? I need to know the details of that. Again, maybe that is reverse psychology to start the conversation of, I'm unhappy. I don't want to be here. I don't know. Maybe he's going to that extent. Maybe not. But I think that this is the second joint. He got to be very careful. It's too early to be injury prone.
Yeah, and not to mention, Fig, at the end of the day, he had the operation real fast. He might put some kind of grievance towards the NBA PA, but I think he might be trying to do this. In my personal opinion, I think he definitely might be trying to see if he can put something out there so he can demand a trade. That's what I think he's trying to do right now. We'll see. But how, Fig, the question is to you is, he fractured his foot. How shocked are you if he starts to demand a trade?
He was demanding a trade before he fractured his foot. And let me tell you something. Yo, Talent. You know how he fractured his foot, right?
Oh, God.
It's got to be the shoes.
I love this show.
Yo, man, let me tell you something. Here's just a little bit of advice to Zion if he's paying attention to any of his camp. New York has some of the best doctors in the world.
That's a fact.
We got some of the best doctors on the planet. And right
fact.
here in New York City. And if you came to New York City to play for our team, you'd have access to all of those doctors and an unlimited amount of money to fix your foot.
The vaccine was made in New York.
Well, if you want to go there, Mike, the Boston has the best doctors in the world.
No.
If you want to go there,
That's true. That's true.
No, but you kind of right.
Mike, what's your take on this, man? You think Zion's using this right now as one of these things, to be able, because in the NBA you gotta have certain requirements to demand a trade to be able to access a trade for them to approve it, because all NBA trades got to be approved. So what's your take on this, Mike?
Dog, I applaud the NBA players for having so much power. I applaud them. They should continue to have power. But we're not even going to finish our goddamn rookie contract.
No.
We're not even going to finish the rookie contract now, y'all. Like, for real. Like, come on, man. Just get through the rookie contract. And let's make sure you're not going to be injury prone your whole career before somebody trades the franchise for you. Now you fractured your foot. Let's see how this now teams got to take a timeout. See how he recovers from a foot fracture, because that's serious business. Ask Sam Bowie. Ask him about what goes on with your feet. So now we're going to pause, but we're really going to try to demand a trade in the rookie contract. That ain't a bit much. Like we can't do the first 3 years or 4 years in the city and give them a shot to actually build a franchise for you. That's a lot, yo.
Hey, Mike, once Stevie Franchise said he's not even showing up to the city that picked him.
Yeah, that's true. So, Dave, the question remains is, I was going to throw it out to you and ask you the same thing that he just brought up, man, is should there be a huge concern that Zion is this injury prone? You know what I mean? Because this is a lot of issues with his feet this early on in his career, bro. What's your take?
Yeah, I think there's like the time for concern was the first time old boy got injured. The other part of that is every last one of you comedians on this show several weeks back said that I was out of pocket for saying that sometimes people spend a little too much time pussyfooting. This is an example of what happens when you pussyfoot. And I'm just not going to be able to speak today. It's fine. Zion Williamson obviously is a broken bill of goods. He needs a podiatrist, an old priest, and a young priest. And how last I checked, what didn't he major in underwater basket weaving? What is his medical qualifications to determine what the NBA doctors are or are not doing? Did the NBA doctors come along and hobble you like Nancy Kerrigan? Like, I'm trying to understand what happened to your foot. Did Kathy Bates from Misery come take you, call you a dirty birdie, and then take your foot and knock it? Or did you pussyfoot around out here before you really got started? Who's to blame? It sounds to me like you're just being a whiny little millennial, and I'm not really here for it.
You know, we're going to have to finish this conversation tomorrow because the show's over, man. The show is over.
We just got started.
So tomorrow, right, I'm going to start I got things I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw this, but tomorrow we got to talk about LeBron James, who said that 2 teams tried to sign him when he was a free agent in 2011. We're going to talk about that conversation, and we're going to talk about who the 2 teams possibly could have been. And here's the crazy part, Talent, Big, Mike, and Dave, is that he actually considered it. He actually considered, literally, before he made certain moves, he actually considered playing in the NFL. We got to talk about that.
If we stopped this show early simply because of my chest, I apologize. Like, Jesus, like, I didn't mean, guys.
It don't take up that much space, Mike. It can't possibly be your chest.
I apologize, fellas. Like, that was not my intention. I was just having a good time.
I'm still stuck on the
You put the whole show on your shoulders. Chest.
Talent, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro. Tell them, talk to them.
Everybody can follow me on Instagram. I opened a new page, Mike Sean's Areolas.com. Check us out on there. We cover all areolas, every shape, size, color. We got the shoulder in the front. It's crazy. You want to come on there and check out the page. Click like the page, and I'm good to go with that, Frank, today. That's good.
Frank, talk to me.
Man, I want to thank Mike Sean for letting the show end early by putting Thanksgiving in front of Halloween. On social media platforms at Comedian Fig Bunsey, Monday through Friday. This is the best damn sports show.
Wow, y'all on the road today. Mike, talk to me.
I just want to say you're welcome to all our female watchers. All our female watchers, I just want to say you're welcome for catching that. Give me like 3 more weeks. I'm doing the whole show topless. Give me 3 more weeks with this trainer, baby. Comedy show this Thursday night. You in the DFW area. Dallas, Fort Worth. Come check me out. Arlington Improv. It goes down this Thursday night. It's going to be a sellout, so make sure you get your tickets early in the game. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Dave, talk to me.
Yeah, I just feel like, a lot of times we don't understand the importance of moisturization, because when you're trying to make sure that your bird is cooked all the way, the oil actually helps crisp and brown the skin, so it doesn't look pink, pale, and pasty. Ladies, if that's what's happening in your kitchen, that's why your man is cheating on you. Michael Sean, he's right. You do need to be thanking him, because he just did y'all a service as to why your man is stepping out. Because if you looks like that, it's cool. Follow me at The Business Bully. I'm hitting a stage near you real soon. Love y'all. Mean it.
Yo, this is the show called The Box Seats, where you're going to hear jokes. I don't care what kind of jokes they are. You're going to hear jokes.
Hilarious.
You're going to hear. The replay of the show's on the channel called The Humor Mill 3 to 4. We're on every day live for 1 to 6.
Yo, go to the one shot.
Frank, go to the one shot.
Oh my God.
Lock him up with R. Kelly.
Yo, He got the nerve to have new growth taco meat.
Yo,
It's fresh too.
Moxie's got eye candy, son.
Yo, I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. That's hilarious.